Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Southern Puma, the Jack of all trades, master of none, and in today's video, I am going to be talking about Sting's upcoming retirement that he announced will be at AEW Revolution 2024. Now, this is insane news because Sting was forced to retire in 2015 because of a spinal injury. He came back late 2020 to AEW, and he had a really insane 3-year run there where he was treated as a respected legend. He was on a part-time schedule. He only had a few matches a year, but it was worth it because it's one of those where you just gotta keep watching because you never know when that run is gonna end. And it's about time for that run to end. The clock is ticking. And Sting has wrestled for so long that he has transcended generations when it comes to his fans. There are people that watched him in the late 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s in TNA, in the 2010s, and now in the 2020s. That is 5 decades of wrestling. That is incredible that he was able to go for that long. Even after a 5-year break where he had to retire, he still came back and was going strong for a part-time schedule. Now, let me just go over some of my favorite memories from watching Sting in TNA, in WWE, and in AEW. In TNA, I didn't really have a lot of memories of Sting because this was towards the tail end of his run there, right before TNA went on a downslope, and they're just now starting to recover. And Sting, Joker Sting, was probably one of the best parts of the show, alongside AJ Styles and Kurt Angle and those types. And it was incredible because my mom had the nostalgia of Sting because she watched during the Attitude Era. And when she got me into TNA, that was one of the first dudes I was drawn to was Sting because of the look and the entrance, the presentation. I was drawn to that. And that carried over into his debut in WWE in 2014. It's at Survivor Series. They've been teasing it for months, teasing something. And at Survivor Series, lights go out. You see the Scorpion on the Titantron, and out comes Sting. The first time he has ever entered a WWE arena. And they made a point to tell you this is a big moment that Sting was in a WWE ring and facing off with one of the stalwart soldiers of the Attitude Era in Triple H. And he took out Triple H. He hit him with the Scorpion Death Drop. There was a Survivor Series match going on. He pulls Dolph Ziggler onto Seth Rollins, and Dolph Ziggler's the lone survivor, meaning the Authority was done for about 3 months. But I'm not going to get into that. After that, he's obviously started feuding with Triple H and the Authority, and what was left of the Authority. And at WrestleMania 31, people can say whatever they want about how Sting was booked in that match and how the whole thing was booked. But honestly, I liked Sting versus Triple H. It was in my opinion, one of the better parts of that kind of, now I don't want to say forgettable cards, but not really one of WrestleMania's best. like, you had Cena and Rusev for the U.S. title. You had Brock and Roman. You had Bray and Undertaker in a match that now, Bray Wyatt shirt, I kind of look back at it in a different light. I look back at it more in a positive light because the fact that Undertaker was willing to get in the ring with Bray Wyatt at that point was incredible. But let's get this back to Sting. Sting had his match with Triple H. It went about 25 minutes, as you'd expect for a Triple H WrestleMania match. And it had all the NWO and DX bells and whistles. But Triple H was the one that won. People say that was a bad decision because it was a shot at the Monday Night Wars and it being 15 years after it was over and all this. I kind of agree because it was a bit petty that they had Triple H win against the returning legend. Like, that probably wasn't the brightest idea. But at the same time, it was these legends who you never thought you would be able to see getting physical again. Or just, like, you rarely see them at all coming in and kicking ass. So, on that foot, on the nostalgia end of WrestleMania, it did its job perfectly well. But I do see where people thought that storyline was booked wrong. Fast forward a couple of months, Sting goes away for a little bit, and he comes back to take on Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. Now, this is where it goes downhill. Not when he returns at Night of Champions. We'll get to that in a bit. But before Night of Champions, he had a run where he was teaming with guys like Randy Orton, John Cena, some of the top guys in WWE at the time that weren't the Authority, of course. And that was a really cool little spell. The fact that he was here and teaming with these established WWE guys was awesome. And then we get to Night of Champions. If you know, you know. And if you don't, I'ma tell you. So, Sting has Seth Rollins just got out of a match with John Cena for the United States Championship that Seth had. He has 2 belts at this point, the United States title and the WWE title. He gets out of a match with Cena where he loses the US title to Cena. And then he's immediately told, oh wait, you have to defend the WWE Championship against Sting. Well, this is Sting's first ever WWE Championship match, right? And he faces off against Rollins. Rollins hits him with a buckle bomb. It looked alright at first. It didn't look like it did anything. But then Sting collapsed. And then everyone was like, oh, he must be selling it. But then, like, a couple of minutes later, you realize, oh, wait, he ain't selling. He's hurt. And at that point, Sting had gotten, no pun intended, a stinger in his neck. He jolted his neck in a bad way with that buckle bomb, and it basically forced him to retire. A couple of months after this, at the 2016 Hall of Fame, he gets inducted and officially announces that he's retired. And that's it for Sting in WWE for the longest time. Not even for the longest. It's just the end of Sting in WWE. He comes back every now and then for legend appearances, but that was it. Fast forward to December of 2020, and it's winter is coming. Cody and Darby Allin are in the ring taking on Team Taz, which is Taz's faction at the time. And it was 3-on-2. They were getting beaten down. But then the lights go out. You see the Scorpion on the Titantron, and people had a feeling who it was. and then Sting and the pop of the century from this tiny crowd, from this 25% capacity crowd in the Daily's place. And out comes Sting. Now, I saw rumors at the time that he was going to show up in AEW, but it was one of those where, like, I'll see it when I see it. Like, I'm not going to believe a report from a quack journalist on the internet. That's just my thing. I don't believe that crap. So, out comes Sting. I pop like a madman, and he helps Darby and Cody fight off the Team Taz. And then he goes on this 3-year run where he's teaming with Darby to try to keep Sting safe. And it's been incredible. It has been incredible to see this legend in his 60s. Dude dives off a balcony when he really has no need. He has no need or right to be that agile and athletic at his age. And yeah, that's really all I got. I don't really have any memorable moments. I have a few, but none that really ring off the top of my head. Aside from, like, his first match, which was that cinematic tag match with Brian Cage and Ricky Starks, I think it was. But aside from that, I don't really have any that jump out of my mind too much. This video really is just my thoughts, like, just in the moment. Because I just got there watching Dynamite where he announced it, and I'm just putting all my thoughts together in this video. So, that'll be it, guys. As I said in the beginning, please be sure to like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Comment down below what else you want me to talk about. I got a short coming up where I'm going to be discussing my top 3 opponents for Jade Cargill as she's joining the WWE. My top 3 opponents for her. I'm going to try to make it one from each brand, but it probably will be the obvious ones you think they'll be. But the NXT one will be a bit of a shock. So stay tuned for that. Hit the notification bell. Do all the YouTuber shit. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces.